For the past 2 years, Jocko Fuel has been the only supplement I've consumed. It's helped me stay in shape now that my competitive career is finished. If you've been waiting to try Jocko, the wait is over. Jocko has now teamed with Walmart, bringing clean fuel to the entire nation. Jocko Fuel is loaded with all the good stuff and none of the bad. And I'm talking no added sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and absolutely no gray area or banned substances. Just pure, clean fuel to power your performances. Jocko Fuel is now available in Walmart nationwide. Products available at your local Walmart are Jocko Malt, ready to drink, Jocko Malt powder, and Jocko pre-workout. How convenient. Guys, the time is now. Consider trying some of my favorites like Jocko Go and Jocko Hydrate. You can even do it online. Use code Chael30 at JockoFuel.com or just stop by your local Walmart and get your hands on some Jocko ASAP. Don't wait, might not last. Fuel up with Jocko Fuel and crush your goals. Now there's no excuse for not having clean fuel. Guys, I want you to go get Jocko Fuel today at Walmart. I'm trying to wrap my head around the idea of Bo Nickal being scared. Is that the word? I think hesitant might be a more appropriate word. But I'm trying to wrap my head around Bo Nickal being scared to get on top of, to grapple with Paul Craig. And Bo's speaking about it. Bo's very candid. He hears what the audience says. He's actually vowed moving forward that he'll take every opponent down. Okay, but I'm not at peace with this. I'm not at peace because I don't understand it. And all I can do is use my own experiences, right? I mean, the most golden rule in life, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. I've been in Bo's shoes. I remember exactly what that was like. I fought for 5 world championships, including WEC. And I fought for 5 world championships, and I had no belt in jiu-jitsu. And 22 years later, when I become a black belt, I fantasized about, boy, if I could go back to some of those moments, if I could go back and I was on top and I was in this position. Instead of it just being a cardio game where I'm going to posture up and I'm going to throw punches and I'm going to come back down and I'm going to kill some time and I'm going to posture up again. I'm going to do enough that the ref doesn't stop us. I mean, this was actually the strategy going in. I never once thought about passing or bringing my knee inside. If I did pass, what would I do? Could I lock him down? Could I hold him there? Could I actually submit him? It was a different mindset. And I remember not knowing how to cure that. Like, there wasn't jiu-jitsu tournaments that were around. That wasn't so much a thing. There was a jiu-jitsu tournament, but it came around every couple of years, and it was called Abu Dhabi. Like, it was wildly complex to get grappling matches. Now, to go back in my time, the state of Oregon did not have a black belt. Not one in the entire state. In fact, when I started this sport, there was only 6 Hicks and Gracie black belts in the whole world. I mean, just to share for you. So you could own a jiu-jitsu gym and you could be a top club if you had a purple belt. There wasn't very many of them around if you had a brown belt. So now it was largely the effectiveness of jiu-jitsu and the secrets of jiu-jitsu. The power that had was largely whatever reaction you gave to it. If you looked at it and thought, oh no, there's these secrets and there's these tricks and I don't know them, but that guy's got a belt, so someone somewhere vouched for him and says he's really good there, I better avoid these positions. Like, that was a thing, and you didn't have any way to test it. I came up through Team Quest, and before it was called Team Quest, to shorten the name, it was called Performance Quest. The ideology was, though, it's based on the performance. It's not based on the skill. It's not based on your kata. Kata is like form and whatnot. You'll see a lot of that in karate. You'll see a lot of that in taekwondo. What we were training for from a philosophical standpoint was to beat the other guy. That was it. He can know more. He can be better. He can apply said techniques in a more beautiful way than we can. If we can beat him, that's all that matters. Now, I bring that to you because whether that's a winning philosophy or not, it was our philosophy. So I was ending up in world title fights, coming through a gym headed by a world champion known as Randy Couture. Randy had no belt. I don't know that Randy had a gi. To this day, I've never seen him in a gi. That includes the practice room. So there was always this thing, there was always this thought in my mind, what does happen? I am technically, I would be a white belt, and I'm taking on a black belt. Is there actually secrets? Is there actually positions and knowledge that this guy has that I don't? Now, when we came through Team Quest, because we didn't have a belt system, there was no way to get a black belt. There was no belt system. I also had never been to a jiu-jitsu class. Not one. So I'm fighting for a gold belt. I'm fighting for a world championship. And I remember specifically, it was against Paulo Filho. Undefeated, ranked #1 in the world, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. I had never been to a jiu-jitsu class. I had never, people would use words like shrimp, just for example. Shrimping is something they will do on day one in jiu-jitsu as part of your warm-up. I learned that 20-some years later. I had never been to a class, so now I do have this big fear in my head. And I could get rid of that fear if I could learn, if I could go live, if I could work out with guys that have that skill, but that wasn't possible. Okay, now I'm bringing that to you because I could only imagine if I was Bo. I mean, Bo was so cloaked in success. There's no way that Bo has his medals and his championships on display. There's just not a way. You'd have to be the richest man in the world to have a room to have all of Bo's awards in it. But Bo grappled Gordon Ryan and almost beat him. Now, you can set that part aside, the almost beat him business. But Bo grappled Gordon Ryan for 15 minutes. Now, everything changes when you add strikes. Again, Rickson Gracie himself said, if you're a black belt and you get punched in the face, you're now a brown belt. If you get punched a second time, you're now a purple belt. I mean, Rickson was talking about one of the weaknesses that jiu-jitsu is great of an art that it has, where the control is different. Royce Gracie would wear a gi, and Royce didn't wear the gi for himself. He wore the gi to absorb the opponent's sweat. Because as opponent got sweaty and slippery, your likelihood of securing a submission is less and less. All right, now I hope you're staying with me on this, because if I was Bo, I'm putting myself in Bo's shoe. If I was Bo, I don't know exactly where I stand. I need time like anybody, but I had an experience, and that experience was going 15 minutes against Gordon Ryan in Gordon's position. The #1 position that Gordon wants to be in is what we go to. And I survive, and now I know that if I could add strikes, according to Rickson himself, changes things. And I would just imagine that my confidence level would be very high. I would just imagine that. Bo does not have the fears that a normal person has. You want to know a great example? Bo is not scared to lose. Most people can't relate to that. Most people would not go into the match against Gordon Ryan with no belt, no jiu-jitsu, no one, just because they were offered it, because they know what the outcome is going to be, and that in and of itself will stop them from competing. Bo is not like that. Bo showed up. Bo grappled with him. Bo got into his absolute best positions. As wonderful as you might, because you see, it comes down to what you think. As wonderful as you might think Paul Craig is, and you'd be right to think that. But you do not think that Paul Craig is more dangerous and or better from that position than Gordon Ryan. And Bo went to that position with Gordon and had tremendous success for a very large amount of time. That's just where I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm trying to get this whole thing. And we're not there. I had let this go. This was behind us. I'm now reconfused by the statement of Bo promising to take everybody else down. I don't know where the deal comes with the audience. I don't know how he's being influenced. I don't know who it is that's getting in his ear that is having the ability to influence him. Take him down. Don't take him down. I promise to do this. I promise not to do that. It's got me lost. It's got me lost. With the experiences that he's had and the success that he's had, there is no deal. There is no deal with the audience. There is no deal with the opponent. There is no deal with anybody. It's every man for himself. Those are the rules of this sport. Those are the rules that he's lived his entire life by. And in my final analysis, I must tell you, I'm confused.